One of the things that I wanted to talk about is the Anglican tradition. As most of you probably know, the Renewal Church considers itself to be in the Anglican Episcopal tradition, because that is where our holy orders come from our founding. Many of us were members of the Anglican tradition prior to the founding of the Renewal Church. The Anglican tradition started in England in the 16th century with King Henry VIII, who broke away from the Catholic Church. Popular history says that he wanted to get divorced, and the Pope would not let him get divorced, and so he broke away. It was a little bit more complicated than that. There were a lot of political elements going on when King Henry decided that he would rather be the head of the Church in England rather than allowing the Pope to meddle in various religious and political affairs. And so Anglicanism has always had an element of autonomy, that spirituality can be linked to local places or groups or regions or people with other shared interests or common links together. And so as England colonized various places, they took the Church of England with them. As those places became independent, those churches broke off from the English Church and became autonomous. For instance, in the United States, with the independence of the United States from England, the Episcopal Church was formed as a self-governing body in the United States, yet still following the Anglican tradition and many of the beliefs of the Anglican tradition. And so the Anglican Church is a series of autonomous churches that have commonalities, things in common with each other. And there are some things that are really powerful about the Anglican tradition that we are striving to bring with us in the Renewal Church. One of the things is that all of these autonomous, independent Anglican churches are joined together very often by what is referred to as the bonds of affection. So ministries are joined together by the idea that they want to be together, they want to be collaborative, they have love between them and affection between them, and it's not just hierarchical, it's not just functional, but it is really a matter of having affection that bonds, and mutual caring and understanding is what brings ministries together to form a church, a communion. And really, as we work in the Renewal Church, that is a big piece of who we are. We are a collection of ministries who support each other and care about each other and inspire each other, hold each other accountable, and bring those things together through bonds of affection. The next part of the Anglican tradition that is really good for us to bring with is the idea that the Anglican tradition is the via media, or the middle way. It is thought of as the way between Catholicism and Protestantism, between various extremes. And so the middle way, the middle ground of the Anglican tradition. One of the things that I often tell my Catholic friends, they'll ask a question, for instance, they'll say, well, do you have a devotion to Mary, or what do you believe as an Anglican related to Mary? And I very often say that as an Anglican, I can believe or do anything that a Catholic does. I just don't have to. If I want to have a devotion to Mary, I can have a devotion to Mary. If I want to go to confession, I can go to confession. If I want to pray the rosary, I can pray the rosary. But I don't have to do any of these things. We have all of these things available to us, all 7 of the sacramental rituals, if you will, but they're not as compulsory as they are in, say, the Roman Catholic Church, or maybe an Orthodox church, or a more conservative branch of Lutheranism, we have options. We can celebrate a wide diversity within the Christian tradition. Sometimes the Anglican tradition can be described as Catholic light, Catholic without the rules, regulations, or guilt. I think sometimes that's a fun way for people to understand that the Anglican tradition has much in common with the Catholic or, say, Orthodox tradition, but it is a different understanding. It is a different way of looking at things, often a less rigorous and less serious way, yet still a very profound way that allows us to carry forward some of the best of the Christian tradition without some of the baggage.